Rain has lifted, and it is a beautiful night here at Fenway Park as the Cubs come to town for the first of three. The Red Sox have taken the field, so let's check out the visiting Chicago Cubs starting nine. Starlin Castro is at shortstop with Darwin Barney at second base. Jeff Baker's at third base. He bats third. Aramis Ramirez is the DH in the cleanup spot with Carlos Pena at first base. Marlon Byrd is in center field. He bats sixth. Alfonso Soriano in left. Reed Johnson, the former Toronto Blue Jay, is in right field. He bats eighth. And Coy Hill does the catching. He bats ninth. On the mound for the Red Sox is Jon Lester, his 10th start of the year, 5-1 with a 3.28 earned run average. He's worked in 57 2/3 innings and has 58 Ks. Opponents are hitting at .229 against Jon Lester. Had a 6-inning effort last time out against the Yankees in a win in which he gave up 4 runs, walked 4, and struck out 7.
The Red Sox defense is brought to you by Jordan's Furniture. The Red Sox are 4th in the American League with 21 errors in 43 games. Kevin Youkilis at third base, Jed Lowry the shortstop, Dustin Pedroia at second, and Adrian Gonzalez the first baseman. Left to right, Kyle Crawford, Jacoby Ellsbury, and Mike Cameron. And Jared Saltalamacchia doing the catching for Jon Lester.
Umpiring crew tonight, Brian O'Nora has a play calling the balls and strikes. It is Alfonso Marquez at first base, Ed Hickox at second base, and Ed Rapuano is the crew chief. He's at third. We're available. This telecast can be heard in Spanish by selecting the SAP button on your television remote. Enjoy the game.
Buenas noches, amigos.
Jon Lester ready to work to Starlin Castro. Leads it off for the Cubs. And the first pitch of this one is right in there for strike one, and we're underway. Starlin Castro off to a great start, hitting at .331 on the year. Topped the Cubs order. The home run and 20 runs batted in. Up the middle, ranging is Pedroia to the backhand. Fires to first for out number 1.
Don, you talk about the Cubs. I mean, they're second in the league in batting average, but in runs scored, they're 9th in the league. So they've had some problems driving in guys. They've had plenty of base runners, but not able to score a lot of those base runners. Mike
Quade, the manager of the Cubs. And the Cubs are 5.5 games back of the St. Louis Cardinals in the National League East. Heading into tonight's action, that puts them in 5th place in the NL Central. One out for Darwin Barney, the second baseman. He went to camp with the Cubs this spring. He was earmarked for AAA, battling for a AAA job, and as it turns out, he starts the year as their starting second baseman.
Yeah, one of the real nice stories of spring training.
Barney fights it off foul as he gets jammed and flips it foul. It's 1-1. Ranks 9th in the National League with a .322 batting average coming in. Leads Major League rookies in batting average. Well, we know the Red Sox travel well, and we're learning that the Cubs travel well. They're all over this ballpark. As this is on the ground to third base, picked by Youkilis on to first, and there's 2 down.
That change up that time from Jon Lester, the ground ball to Kevin Youkilis. He stays down with it and is able to record that out at first base. Here's the changeup from Jon Lester, keeps it down in the zone. The result, the topspin ground ball to third base.
Now they are all over Fenway Park. They're all over Yawkey Way and all over Boston as the Red Sox here welcome the Cubs and their fans. Very similar to when the Red Sox went to Wrigley a few years back. As Jeff Baker stands in and takes ball 1 away. Baker, the third baseman, another big batting average, .342 with a home run and 12 runs batted in. To left and a base hit for Jeff Baker. 2-out single, first Cubs base runner of the night.
Now Baker also gets a changeup from Lester, but this one stays up in the zone just a little bit, and he's able to line it into left field for the 2-out base hit. There's the changeup location up outside corner, and Baker hooks it for the hit. Now this atmosphere tonight was a little bit like a Yankee atmosphere.
Yes.
Fans everywhere, out in the streets, all around the city. Many of them getting their first look at Fenway Park.
Two down in the first. Baker at first, and here's Ramos Ramirez, who sends one foul down the left field line, out of play. Was the Cubs able to use a DH in this American League venue? And Ramirez is the DH tonight, hitting at .287, the home run and 15 runs batted in. Last 8 games has been hot. 11 for 32 at .344. Guy usually puts up a lot of RBIs. 32 years old and has surpassed the 100 RBI mark 6 times in the last 10 years. Look at his numbers in 124 interleague games. He was playing at third base when the Red Sox visited Wrigley Field. The DH tonight, waiting on an 0-2 pitch. This is hooked into left field for a base hit. Over is Crawford as Baker takes second on the single by Ramirez.
Well, the first 4 hitters in the lineup have never faced Jon Lester. It's the cut fastball from Lester, this time down and in, and a pretty nice piece of hitting there by Ramirez. Moves a hitting streak now to 4 straight games for him.
So 2 down, first and second, and Carlos Pena coming up. Pena at .237 with 5 home runs and 17 runs batted in his first year with the Cubs. For all those very good seasons in Tampa Bay. Joining the Cubs, having amassed 230 home runs prior to arriving. He's an all-star in 2009 and has averaged 36 home runs in each of the last 4 seasons. Yes, he takes ball 1.
He has got 5 career home runs against Jon Lester.
It has been hot lately as you see the numbers over the last 11 games. He's homered in 5 of the last 14 games. Did not have a home run in the first 25 games of the year for the Cubs. Time called late, and Lester lets it fly. Red Sox winning 6 games in a row heading into this 3-game series against the Cubs. Jerry, I wish we were doing the game tomorrow to see Terry Francona in his throwback uniform. I saw a little of it today, and it's not the most flattering on the manager. So he can't bury him tomorrow. We'll bury him tonight even before he has it on. But it's a white hat, and he's going to look great in it.
He's looking forward to wearing it, that's for sure.
1 ball, 1 strike to Carlos Pena. As a look at the uniforms that will be worn here tomorrow as part of the throwbacks. The Red Sox on the right, and Terry Francona and the Red Sox will be wearing white hats. Also be at a beach near you selling ice cream soon.
And the Red Sox have no logo on their shirts. The Cubs have Cubs on theirs. And the hat just solid white for Tito tomorrow night.
Really looking forward to that. 1-1 to Carlos Pena. Now drop in there for strike 2. 1-2. Curveball from Lester.
Curveball that time from Jon Lester. First one of the night. Stayed inside. It was supposed to be away, but he picks up the inside corner.
Two on for the Cubs as they threaten here in the first inning. Baker at second. Ramirez at first, 2 down. And a 1-2 pitch coming to Carlos Pena. In the air, foul.
Pena, one of the more patient hitters in this lineup for the Cubs. They don't walk very much. As a matter of fact, as a team, they are last in the National League in walks.
Marlon Byrd waiting on deck. Cubs have had good hitting average wise, but near the bottom pitching wise with a 4.50 ERA. Only Houston with a higher earned run average. So 1-2 is away, and it's 2-2. Red Sox in a similar shift tonight as they have been in the past, with Pena at the plate, where he was a member of the Rays, and Pedroia's in short right field, camped out there. And Saltalamacchia out to talk to Lester as you see the defensive alignment for Carlos Pena. Of all the Cubs, Red Sox certainly have the best read on Carlos Pena, with all the action he's seen as a member of the Tampa Bay Rays. Two on, two down, and time called again. Two pitch. Full count, and everybody be on the move. Lester got Castro to ground out, Barney to ground out, but singles for Baker and Ramirez. And a full count here for Carlos Pena. Runners will get a start. Pena hits it high in the air out to center field. Ellsbury now going back. It'll take him to the dirt of the track to make the catch. The Cubs strand a pair. Red Sox are coming up. Back at Fenway, the Cubs don't score in the top of the first. Red Sox coming up in the bottom of the first. And the Red Sox starting lineup is brought to you by New England Chevy dealers. Jacoby Ellsbury leading it off in center field with Dustin Pedroia at second base. Adrian Gonzalez at first base. Kevin Youkilis at third in the cleanup spot. Big Papi David Ortiz at DH with Jed Lowry at shortstop. Mike Cameron is in right field. He bats seventh. Last night's hero again, Carl Crawford, is in left field. He's got good numbers in interleague. And Jared Saltalamacchia does the catching. He bats ninth. Doug Davis on the hill tonight for the Cubs. His second start since coming up from AAA Iowa. 1.80 ERA and has worked in 5 innings. Well, it's hit 190 in that first outing, in a career against the Red Sox 3-2. The 3.79 earned run average. He's got that hitch in his delivery as he almost pauses.
Yeah, the Red Sox will not see anything overpowering tonight. Have to be very patient with Doug Davis.
Here's an 0-1. And the breaking ball missing. 1-1. Ellsbury hitting at .290, 4 homers and 19 runs batted in. On the ground towards Castro at short. Off balance throw. It's going to be close and not in time. Well, Ellsbury running. Ellsbury able to beat it out, and it's a base hit.
Al Castro got rid of the ball as quickly as he possibly could, but when Jacoby Ellsbury makes a shortstop go to his right, he's going to beat it out most of the time. Nice pick out of the dirt there by Pena, but Jacoby Ellsbury beats it out for the base hit. 13 steals for Ellsbury at first base.
Lead runner on for the Red Sox in the first inning. Here's Dustin Pedroia. 239, 2 home runs and 10 runs batted in. There is strike one. Pedroia didn't think so. Look back at Brian O'Nora. It's in 8 of his last 11 games. Check on Ellsbury, who was leaning in the wrong direction. Able to get back.
Little bit of a tricky move here by Doug Davis. There's Ellsbury taking a step towards second base. I don't think he was stealing. I think he was just trying to get a secondary lead.
Pops inside 1-1. This one gets away from Hill, and Ellsbury will take second base. Picked off Coy Hill and back it to his right, and Ellsbury able to get to second easily.
Looked like a cut fastball that time inside that just clanked off the glove of Coy Hill. And once Ellsbury saw that, no problem getting into the scoring position.
2 balls, 1 strike to Dustin Pedroia. Up and away, 3-1. Doug Davis will turn 36 on September 21st. His second start in a Cubs uniform. He's called up on May the 14th from AAA Iowa. 66 and 75 in 213 starts in the National League. This is in the dirt. Gets away from the catcher, but no advance for Ellsbury on ball 4 to Dustin Pedroia. So the first 2 have reached for the Red Sox here in the first inning. Two on, nobody out for Adrian Gonzalez. 314, 9 homers, and 37 runs batted in. No doubt Adrian's going to be comfortable wherever he hits in the major leagues, but a stretch in June when interleague starts up again where he's going to be real comfortable in a lot of the National League cities, as this one bounces in for ball 1.
Now we've seen the pitches for Doug Davis. I mean, the fastball certainly not overpowering. The breaking ball, the cut fastball. He'll throw a changeup.
Most recently pitched in the majors for the Brewers last year was 1-4 with a 7.51 ERA in 8 starts. There's a strike, 1-1. 278 career starts in the majors, 88 and 101 his record. Just outside, 2-1. Posted 5 double-digit win seasons, at a career-high 13 victories in 07. The Arizona Diamondbacks. Runners go. The throw to third base is going to get away, and Ellsbury is going to spin and head for the plate. He will score as Pedroia takes third, and the Red Sox lead it 1-0.
Well, the double steal put on by the Red Sox. Dustin Pedroia following Jacoby Ellsbury. The head for a slide, and the ball's going to get by Jeff Baker, the third baseman. Once he sees that, Ellsbury comes on to give the Red Sox their first run. Pedroia on the third base. That ball bouncing out in front. Somehow you got to get that body out in front and block it. Tried to play it off to the side. He gets by him. He gets into left field.
Now a 3-1 pitch on the ground off of Castro into left. Pedroia will score, and the Red Sox lead it 2-0.
Gonzalez picks up his 38th RBI of the season, and he takes the fastball from Davis to the right of Castro, the shortstop. Castro dives, he gets a glove on it, but Pedroia scores with no problem, and Gonzalez drives in the second run of the ball game for the Red Sox.
Now Youkilis takes strike 1 over the inside corner. .259 average coming in for Youkilis. 7 home runs, 27 runs batted in. 7-game hitting streak for Youkilis heading into tonight's action. And it's a ball and a strike to the Red Sox third baseman. Look at the numbers along the way in this 7-game hitting streak. Includes 2 home runs and 8 RBIs. Ball 2, 2-1. Doug Davis has not been able to record an out yet here in the first inning. Strike 2, 2-2. David Ortiz waiting on deck. Red Sox batting in the first. Already on top 2-0. Inside, full count. They're just trying to paint the corners here, and so far has not been able to get anybody out. Rip foul down the left field line. Red Sox winning on Monday against the Orioles, taking both games against the Tigers. As part of this homestand, they lost 1 game to rain. Won 6 in a row heading into tonight's action. Youkilis will tap another foul. They've won 9 of their last 11 games, and since the start of May, lead the majors with a 12-5 mark, playing .706 baseball since the beginning of May. Center, base hit for Youkilis. Gonzalez will touch second and head for third. Youkilis will make it a 2-base hit as he cruises into second with a double.
Well, right now, Doug Davis not fooling anybody in this Red Sox lineup. A line shot by Kevin Youkilis. He'll extend his hitting streak to 8 games. Right quickly by the glove of Stalin Castro. And the Red Sox with second and third, still nobody out.
8-gamer now for Youkilis with the double, hitting at .370. Second and third, still nobody out. David Ortiz, the batter. David takes ball 1.
Ortiz has faced Davis before. He is 2 for 5 in his career against the left-hander.
Very good numbers for Big Papi in interleague games. 153 games at .307 average. A 1-0. You know, the interesting thing about interleague this year is, where is David Ortiz going to play when we start going to these National League cities? Adrian Gonzalez at first base every day.
Looks like David may be sitting for extended periods of time.
.2-0. He is in there for a strike, 2-1.
We do know this: he won't be catching, he won't be playing in the outfield.
Pretty safe. Shortstop's probably out, right?
Yeah, probably.
Ortiz gets jammed and sends it out to center. Bird is there to make the catch. Tagging and faking the tag is Gonzalez. He'll go nowhere. And there's 1 out in the first.
Now Davis gets a fastball inside on David Ortiz. He's not able to really get extended and get that ball deep enough to score the run. Looks like Big Papi thought that possibly Gonzalez could have scored on that fly ball.
So second and third, one out, and here's Jed Lowry. To left, Soriano is there to make the catch on the liner, and there's two down. So former Yankee out there in left field making the catch on the liner, two down.
Yeah, Soriano certainly has experience here at Fenway Park. A line shot by Lowry, but a sinking line drive, and again Gonzalez cannot tag and come home.
Here's Mike Cameron, who spent his fair share of time in the National League. Part of our key matchup brought to you by New England Acura dealers. 333 against Doug Davis and 51 at bats. There's strike one. Cameron at 163, 2 homers. The home runs came the same night. And 4 runs batted in for Mike Cameron. It's his 11th start of the year. Down and in, 1-1. Gonzalez at third base, Youkilis at second base, 2 down, 2 runs in. Swing and a miss, 1-2.
That cut fastball again from Davis that registers about 80-81 miles an hour. Left that one up in the zone, and I think Cameron very disappointed that he didn't make contact on that pitch.
Up high, 2-2. Cameron down. If the inning continues, Carl Crawford will be next. Red Sox batting in the first. Inside, and a full count to Cameron. A lot of pitches in this first inning for Doug Davis, up to 31. Cameron hits it hard, picked nicely by Baker at third. His throw is in time, and the inning is over. Red Sox get a pair. Boston on top, 2-0 after 1. Thanks to Ace Ticket, $175 will be donated to the Children's Hospital Boston Trauma Program and the Red Sox Foundation for every strikeout tallied by the Red Sox. Entering tonight's game, Ace Ticket has donated $54,775. Thanks, Ace Ticket, and remember to get your Red Sox seats at 1-800-MY-SEATS. 21-minute wait for Jon Lester as we start the second inning. Marlon Byrd leading it off, and he gets hit with the first pitch.
Lester trying to come inside with that cut fastball, gets a piece of Marlon Byrd right above the knee, it looked like.
So Byrd aboard here at first base, and Alfonso Soriano coming up. 259, 11 home runs, and 23 runs batted in. Set safely in 6 of his last 7 games. 7-time All-Star. He's had 20 or more home runs in 9 consecutive seasons, starting in 2002. Reached the 200 home run and 200 stolen base career mark in just 929 major league games, the quickest of any player in league history. And now has been a full-time outfielder since 2006. Strike over the outside corner, 1-1.
11 home runs for Soriano on the season. You see his career numbers against the Red Sox, 12 home runs against Boston.
Broken bat, looper to center. Ellsbury is not going to get there. It's over the head of Pedroia. And it's first and second, nobody out for the Cubs.
Once again, it's that cut fastball from Jon Lester. The bat shatters, goes over the head of Lester, and the baseball goes over the head of Dustin Pedroia. So a lot of base runners here in the first couple of innings.
2 on, nobody out for Reed Johnson, former Toronto Blue Jay. With a big average, 395, 2 homers and 11 runs batted in. Mentioned earlier, the Cubs coming into this series second in the National League with a 278 batting average. Only the Cardinals with a higher average, hitting at 284 as a team. The highest team batting average in the American League is the Cleveland Indians, hitting at 266. So the Cubs 12 points higher than any team in the American League as far as batting average goes. Red Sox starting the night tied for third with the Royals, hitting at 258 as a team.
Don, you're really good with the math. You really are.
Thank you. Carlos Pena and I both went to Northeastern. The 0-1 is on the ground towards short. Lowry will flip to second for 1. On to first, it's 2. Bird will take third.
Ball not really hit that hard by Reed Johnson, but really no problem here for the Red Sox to turn it over. Pedroia had to get out of the way of Soriano. Once he does, it becomes a pretty easy double play for the Red Sox.
So 2 down, Bird at third base, and Coy Hill the batter. 243, a home run and 4 runs batted in for the Cubs catcher. Giovanni Soto going on the DL May 11th, so Coy Hill has been doing the catching. The last 6 games has hit at .333 in Soto's absence. 1-0 is in there for strike 1. 5th season in the Cubs organization for Coy Hill, just signing with Chicago back in 2006. Little pop-up towards Pedroia. In his steps, makes the catch that ends the inning. They leave Bird at third, inning and a half done, 2-0 Red Sox. The play of the week is brought to you by Taco Bell. Think outside the bun. Wednesday night against the Tigers in the bottom of the 8th, Jared Saltalamacchia broke the scoreless tie after a rain delay, driving home Carl Crawford for the Red Sox. Turned out to be the only run of the game and kept the Sox winning streak alive. Play of the week is brought to you by Taco Bell. Well, Jared Saltalamacchia batting second here in the second inning. 2-0 Red Sox as Carl Crawford leads it off and takes ball 1. Crawford hit a bases loaded walk-off single in the 9th inning last night. His 3rd walk-off hit of this season and the 9th of his career. Ball 2, 2-0. Doug Davis had to throw 32 first inning pitches. Gave up 2 runs, but got out of the 2nd and 3rd situation, prevent any further damage being done. in there for strike 2 and 1. Another strike 2 and 2. Crawford didn't like strike 1 and liked strike 2 even less.
Yeah, Crawford thought that ball was down and away. We'll take a look in the Amica pitch zone. Right at the bare bottom of the strike zone.
Crawford slaps it foul off to the left, out of play. Still frustrated over strike 2. I guess if you didn't like strike 2, then you blame the umpire for just about everything else. Changes your entire at bat, I would imagine.
Strike 2. Nobody likes to be strike 2.
It's got to be frustrating. There's ball 3, full count. Reaches out, protects the plate, and sends it foul again. Lead swing, and Crawford strikes out. First strikeout for Doug Davis. One down here in the second inning.
Now Davis really keeping almost everything in that bat away from Kyle Crawford. The fastball down and away. A very late swing by Crawford for the strikeout. First strikeout of the night for Doug Davis.
One down for Jared Saltalamacchia. 221 average, a home run, and 10 runs batted in. And it's ball 1. Just saw him moments ago. He drove in the game's only run with an RBI double in the 8th inning on Wednesday night against the Tigers. And a swing and a miss. Evens it counted 1-1. Last 3 games, Saltalamacchia's hit safely in, and he's got a home run, 2 runs batted in. Rips this foul back into the grandstand. Red Sox baseball on NESN is brought to you in part by Eastern Bank, the official bank of the Red Sox television network. Commitment, compassion, and love of the game. Find out what we're made of at easternbank.com. Red Sox on top 2-0 as they bat in the second inning. There's a 1-2 pitch. And it's a fly ball to shallow right, and as ducking back is Darwin Barney, second baseman, to make the catch. 2 down as we check in with Heidi.
Don, the Chicago Cubs are looking for their 3rd straight win tonight after sweeping the Marlins in a 2-game set. But overall, the Cubs are 19-23 and haven't gotten off to the greatest of starts, partially because of injuries to their pitching staff. I talked to one of their starters, Matt Garza, about who the 2011 Cubs are.
You know, grinders, just hard-nosed workers. You know, it's not like we haven't played the greatest ball, but that's the biggest thing, is we haven't played the greatest ball, is we can play a lot better. You know, weather has been bad, but you can't blame the weather all the time. We just haven't put it all together yet, and I think we're turning a good way, and a lot of it has to do with our rotation. We lost 2/5 of it in the first week, so you know, for a while there, we're just kind of patchwork.
One of the bright spots for the Cubs is rookie second baseman Darwin Barney, who grew up a Red Sox fan in Oregon. Don?
And he just made the putout that ended the inning. It's 2-0 Red Sox. Sox fans, come see the Red Sox battle the White Sox at the end of this month throughout the 3-game series. Great seats are available in various locations throughout the ballpark, starting with the game on Memorial Day. Don't miss the action as the season starts to heat up. Visit redsox.com to get your tickets today. Elaine and Maggie may be here when you come to see the White Sox. They're here tonight. Not a bad present, seeing the Cubs and Red Sox from Fenway Park.
So it's Maggie's birthday, right?
Yes.
Happy birthday, Maggie.
Starlin Castro leading it off here in the third inning. Castro grounded out to second base in the first. Cubs had 2 on in the first inning, could not score. Had 2 on in the second inning with nobody out and could not score. Red Sox able to turn a double play in the second inning. Cubs have left 3 men on through the first 2 innings. Sixteenth time that Castro has led off as he takes ball 2. Lester wanted that and stares in at Brian O'Nora.
Now Jon Lester thought he had the bottom of the strike zone with this fastball, and looks like he did. The reason for the long stare by Jon Lester in at O'Nora.
Breaking ball chopped to third. Backing up is Youkilis. The throw is going to be just in time. Bang bang plays. It turned out at first. Castro's out number 1.
That Castro, very good speed getting down that line, and Youkilis had to really get rid of the ball quickly to get that out at first base. Picks it up on the second bounce. Crow hop step and the long throw across just to get Castro.
So 1 down here in the third inning. Darwin Barney grounded out to third base in the first inning. 0 for 1. He takes strike 1. Taps it foul and quickly down 0-2. Just 25 years old. Made his big league debut last year with the Cubs. Former 4th round draft choice by the Cubs in 2007. In the dirt, 1-2. Cutter sent foul down the right field line. It's still 1-2. Barney now. Jeff Baker will be next with 1 out here in the top of the third for the Cubs. One-two pitch to Barney. Curveball is sent in the air to right field, and this will land fair. Jump up into the seats. It'll be a ground rule double for Darwin Barney.
A pretty good battle put on there by Barney. Gets down a couple of strikes, gets the breaking ball from Jon Lester, and goes out to the outside part of the plate and just slaps it to the opposite field. 1 bounce into the stands for the ground rule double. Right off the hands of a Cub fan down there.
One out. Barney at second base, and here's Jeff Baker. Single to left field in the first inning. One of now 4 hits off Jon Lester through 2 1/3. And it's ball 1. Jeff Baker has been crushing lefties this year, hitting .457 against lefties. As he takes a pitch outside, it's now 2-0. He's 16 for 35 against left-handed pitching. Originally Colorado Rockies 4th round pick in 2002 and made his big league debut in 05 with the Rockies. Seen time at first base, second base, third base, left field, and right field. There's a strike over the outside corner, 2-1. Coming into this game hitting at .342, and already tonight is a base hit off Jon Lester. Outside, 3-1. Next pitch will be the 40th of the night for Lester through 2 1/3 innings. There is Darwin Barney at second base with 1 out. Strike 2, full count.
Those strikes in this at bat have been on fastballs and fastballs away from Baker, outside corner.
Ramos Ramirez waiting on deck. Late swing, very protected by Baker. Don Orsillo with Jerry Remy and Heidi Watney bringing you Red Sox baseball in high definition on NESN. There we are. The coordinating producer of Red Sox baseball is Russ Ken. Senior coordinating director is Michael Narachi. Associate producer is Jim White, and our production assistant is Mark Merlaka. Did you see us?
I did.
1 out. Runner at second. 3-2. Baker in a broken bat liner that'll get by the dive of Lowry into center field as Barney will take third. And Jeff Baker in a lengthy at bat works a single with 1 down.
Yeah, it did sound like a broken bat, but gets by Jed Lowry, the runner at second base. Barney had to kind of wait, make sure that ball was not caught on the line, then advances to third base. You see him heading back to the bag. Then once it gets by Jed Lowry, he can move on to third base.
So first and third, 1 down. And here comes Ramirez. 8th 2-hit game of the year for Jeff Baker. Lots of high averages, but not a lot of runs for the Cubs, and they're trying to put together some runs here against Jon Lester. Ramirez with a single in the first. Hits one hard towards the gap in left center field, and he's going to grab some wall. Barney from third will score. Baker will stop at third. It's an RBI wall ball double for Ramirez. And it's a 2-1 Red Sox lead. Cubs fans here at Fenway have a chance to cheer for the first time.
Ramirez picks up his second hit of the day as he finds the wall out there in left field. Played off the wall there by Jacoby Ellsbury, but a run comes in. And you got a 2-1 ball game with the men at second and third right now.
Into the shift go the Red Sox with Carlos Pena coming up. Pedroia stationed out in short right. Baker at third, Ramirez at second, and Carlos Pena's second look tonight at Jon Lester. Pena flied out to center field in the first. On the ground, it's the shortstop Lowry on the right side. Throws out Pena as a run scores to tie the game 2-2. Ramirez takes third, and this game is tied.
You know, as tough a left-hander as Jon Lester is, Carlos Pena has very good at-bats against him. We gave you the numbers before, hitting almost 300 against Lester, 5 home runs. He gets that fastball, and he hits into the shift, but he does bring in a run. Picks up his 18th RBI of the season.
So 2 down on the go-ahead run now for the Cubs, 90 feet away, and Ramirez. Marlon Byrd with a swing and a miss. Byrd was hit by a pitch in the second inning. Career .282 hitter in parts of 9 major league seasons for Bird, who broke into the big leagues with the Phillies back in '02. Grounds one foul and is down 0-2. Covidien, a global healthcare products company, is a proud sponsor of the Red Sox Foundation, helping to address health needs in our communities. Birds played with the Nationals, Rangers, and last year's first year with the Cubs. And he fouls one straight back. Just a .220 hitter and runners in scoring position on the year. He's got Aramis Ramirez at third base, 2 down here in the third. The Cubs have tied this game. Swing and a miss. Bird strikes out. It ends the top of the third, but it's now tied 2-2. To my afternoon, stick with Nesson for full pre and post game coverage of the Bruins Game 4. Catherine, Barry, and Gord with Nowco and Brick reporting from Tampa. In the afternoon, underway at 12:30 on Bruins Face Off Live, and will return immediately following the final buzzer for a full post game wrap up. Don't forget to check out Nesson.com/Bruins for the latest news and Doug Flynn's live game blogs. It's a 2-2 game and the last of the third inning from Fenway Park. Dustin Pedroia, Adrian Gonzalez, and Kevin Youkilis to face Doug Davis, who had trouble in the first, giving up 2 runs, but then tied the side in order in the second. In fact, he has retired 6 straight batters as Pedroia takes ball 2. Davis walked Pedroia back in the first inning. Three and 0. There's a strike, 3-1. There's Adrian Gonzalez, who'll be next here in the bottom of the third inning. Ball 4, second time Davis has walked Pedroia. Want to get your dad one of a kind Father's Day gift? Buy a Fenway Park brick that becomes part of Red Sox history. Your unique message will be engraved into a brick placed inside the ballpark concourse at Gate B or Gate C. You'll also receive a free replica of the brick with a custom case to proudly display in your home or your office. Bricks are available in limited quantities, so visit redsox.com/bricks to get your brick today. Pretty cool gift. As Pedroia is at first and Gonzalez takes ball 1 inside.
You're going to get one of those bricks, right?
Yes, I am. You?
I believe so, yes. I didn't know what to write on it, though. That's the whole thing.
Just put Remdog.
That probably would have been a good idea, yes.
And then for a strike, and it's 1-1. Put your website address.
No, it wouldn't fit on the brick.
Gonzalez with a single to drive in a run in the first inning, part of the 2-run first. Gonzalez opposite field with power and high off the wall. Bird will play the carom as Pedroia will stop at third. It's a very long single. Missed the cutoff man, but it's backed up by Carlos Pena.
Well, there's that opposite field stroke for Gonzalez. It was on a changeup. What a great job of staying back on this pitch by Gonzalez and taking it off the wall. He was thinking about going to second base. He stopped and retreated to first base. The ball got by the second baseman, but the right move by Gonzalez. It was played beautifully off the wall by Marlon Bird. As Gonzalez thinking about 2, but no, play right in front of him, goes back to first base.
First and third, nobody out. Red Sox trying to answer The 2 runs scored by the Cubs in the top half of this inning, as Kevin Youkilis stands in on the right side. Got a double in the first and takes ball 1. Tried to hold up and grabs the bat. 1-1. After a 1-2-3 second and Davis retiring 6 in a row, it's a walk and a single that starts this 3rd inning. In the air to shallow right. Johnson coming in. We'll see if Pedroia will try it as Johnson makes the catch. Here comes Pedroia. Here comes the throw, and it is not in time. Red Sox take the lead. Nice slide by Pedroia. Slides away from the tag of Coy Hill, and the Red Sox on top 3-2.
Well, Pedroia made that decision all on his own. I believe he was being held up by Tim Bogard, the third base coach, but watch Pedroia go around the tag and get home plate with the hand. He saw the catcher going in toward the pitcher's mound. He slides away from it. There's Pedroia. He's checking it out himself. He's not even looking at Tim Bogard, the third base coach. Excellent look there in the double box.
One out, Gonzalez at first, and David Ortiz takes strike 1. Foul to the left, 0-2. David flied out to center field back in the first inning. Blowing away 1-2. 2 runs in the first for Boston, a run here in the 3rd so far. And Ortiz batting with 1 out and Adrian Gonzalez at first base. Ortiz to left. Soriano will play it off the wall. As it kicks away, heading for third is Gonzalez, going to try and score him. Throw from short left, and he's going to be out at the plate. Throw to third, and Ortiz gets there safely. And Gonzalez trying to score from first was sent by Tim Bogard, and he is thrown out.
How about that relay throw from Starlin Castro, the shortstop? Again to the opposite field for David Ortiz, and watch this relay throw. He's already around third base and all the way in the air, and they're just waiting for Adrian Gonzalez at home plate.
So Ortiz ends up at third base, 2 down, and now Jed Lowry will try to bring him in. Jed lined out to the left fielder right at him. Alfonso Soriano on the first sharply hit ball, but on a line to Soriano.
Obviously, with nobody out, Tim Bogard would not have been sending Gonzalez on that particular play. With 1 out, takes the chance. It takes the perfect relay, and it was a perfect relay.
Sharply hit by the dive of Baker at third. Ortiz will score. It's an RBI single for Jed Lowry, and the Red Sox lead it 4-2.
Now Baker, who made a fine play in the first inning, saving a couple of runs that time, can't quite get to the ground ball hit by Jed Lowry. The cut fastball inside. Lowry's ready for it, Gets it by Baker, the third baseman, who goes into the dive. And the Red Sox pick up another run.
Now Mike Cameron takes a pitch in the dirt. No advance for Lowry at first base. Cameron grounded out to third base in the first. Red Sox getting 2 in the first and 2 so far here in the third. Bounces in and is knocked down by Hill. Lowry still at first.
Nice play there by Coy Hill, keeping Jed Lowry out of scoring position. This ball bouncing well out in front of the plate. Nice job sliding over, covering up the 5-hole, knocking the ball down and keeping the runner at first.
Weekday mornings at 6, catch the Dennis and Callahan Morning Show on the WEI Sports Radio Network and right here on NESN, #1 morning show in Boston. So if you haven't tuned in yet, try it Monday to find out what the rest of New England already knows. It's Dennis and Callahan, weekday mornings at 6. (3-0) to Mike Cameron.
Cameron may have the green light here, 3-0 with Crawford on deck.
Takes a strike, 3-1. Cameron thought he had ball 4. Swing and a miss and a full count now. Cutter has been a problem for Cameron, who a swing and a miss on a cutter earlier from Davis, and here with a swing and a miss, full count. Jed Lowry at first, 2 down. Outfield straight away for the Cubs. Already the 69th pitch of the contest for Doug Davis. Cameron will strike out to end the inning, but the Red Sox get 2 runs and lead it 4-2. The end of 2 at the end of 3. When the temperatures really start heating up this season, make sure you call in the Relief Quencher. Cumberland Farms Chill Zone. It's all your favorite frozen and fountain refreshment in one place for just 79 cents any size. The Chill Zone, only at Cumberland Farms. Top half of the 4th inning back at Fenway Park, 4-2. Red Sox on top of the Cubs now. Alfonso Soriano leading it off. And taking strike 1.
I've seen about everything now. I mentioned a couple of nights ago that there's going to be a story coming out on Don in the Providence Journal by a week from Sunday, I believe. But we actually have paparazzi in the booth. Ooh, that had
third base coach getting hit in the line drive, but appears to be okay.
And we have cameras in the booth following Don. We have a camera mounted that's following Don. Look out. Looks like I got him right in the kitchen. It's kind of tough, to, a lot of pressure working like this.
Would you call this paparazzi?
Yeah, absolutely.
Pitch is in the dirt. Did he go? Yes, he did. And they ring up Alfonso Soriano. Second strikeout for Lester.
That's the 41st time that Soriano has struck out this season to go alone only 6 walks. The breaking ball, the curveball that time from Jon Lester, bouncing in front of the plate. Look at this. This is paparazzi.
This fine gentleman is taking some quick photos. He got by security and got in here somehow.
But there's a mounted camera. There's a mounted camera over there too. That's also taking pictures of you. Now you know what those Hollywood stars go through.
Feeling a lot of pressure. It's in there for a strike, and it's 0-1 to Reed Johnson.
Don's already bought all those copies that are coming out a week from Sunday.
The 1-2. Johnson is on the ground, and by the dive, a Lowry into left. A one-out single for Reed Johnson, who's got good speed.
Reed Johnson 0 for 4 in his career against Jon Lester, gets a curveball that stays up in the zone. And Johnson with the topspin ground ball through the infield for the base hit.
He's now starting the video portion, I think, Jerry. Still shots.
How'd they put video in a newspaper?
I don't know. I think it's for the Projo website.
This
goes along with it.
This is going to be huge.
1 out, 1 on. Coy Hill popped out to second base in the second. And takes ball 1. So this is the video portion now.
Look at this. How do you feel? You feel pretty comfortable?
I feel okay. I'm glad you're here. 2-0.
Yeah, that reminds me, if there's any part of me in this video or picture, it will be, you'll cut it out. You'll have it cut out before it hits the paper.
I don't have editorial control over this. They can do what they want.
I'm sure you've already told them.
Listen, if there's any shot at Jerry,
cut him right out.
Cut him out. Could leave his shoulder or arm. 2-0 pitch is in there for a strike. And it's 2-1. I can say this because they're an advertiser, but the people at CBS who do my 8x10s, they always say, you want to take Jerry out, right? I said, yes. Then I leave it. 2-1 is a strike over the outside corner.
So my grandkids, they'll say, you know, you worked with Don Orsillo, didn't you? Well, what's going on around here today, anyway?
This is Tom Gilmet, our high third. ESPN, the magazine, doing some things here on Tom Gilmet.
Wow. There's a lot going on here today at the ballpark.
Two to Hill. And it is tap foul.
And my grandkids will say, "Dude, what'd you do for a living?" I'll say, "Well, I worked with a guy named Don. And if you want to see proof, you can see like my elbow in all the pictures that he's got of me."
There's my elbow with Kevin Costner.
It really is mine.
Have breakfast with Larry Lucchino, Charlie Jacobs, and Steve Pagliuca on May 25th as they talk about the big business of sports. Register at eventmanagement.org/New England. 1 out, 1 on. Coy Hill batting. 2-2 the count. And a check swing. And did he go? They checked. No, he did not, says Alfonso Marquez. That's a full count.
A very similar pitch that he threw to Soriano that got him to strike out on. This time Hill is able to hold up.
Popped out to second base first time up, now waiting on a 3-2. And there's ball 4. First walk given up by Lester comes with 1 out here in the 4th inning.
Now John really hasn't had a smooth inning yet in this ball game tonight.
One out, 2 on. And Starlin Castro coming up. Grounded out in the first inning, grounded out in the 3rd. There is strike 1. .331 batting average for Castro coming into this series. Cubs have had at least 2 base runners in every inning. Finally got to Lester for 2 runs in the 3rd. Now threatening again here in the 4th inning. Swing and a miss. That was coming in on him. Good cutter, and it's 0-2.
That's what you call swinging from your heels. Cut fastball inside, loses his balance.
Swing and a miss. Lester needed that as he strikes out Castro. 3rd strikeout for Lester, and there's 2 down in the 4th inning.
Right back to the cut fastball again for Jon Lester, but this time keeps it down in the zone, and swinging on top of it is Castro for the strikeout.
Darwin Barney coming up, grounded out in the 1st, doubled and scored in the 3rd. Lee Johnson at second base, Hill at first. And a ground ball to short at Jed Lowry. His throw is good, and Lester is out of another jam. 3.5 done. Red Sox on top 4-2. Tonight, after our Red Sox coverage, join Jade McCarthy for Nesson Daily, presented by Sun Life Financial. She'll check in with the latest on the Bruins. Naoko Foniamo will report from Tampa. Jack Edwards and Gord Kluzak will be in studio. And Andy Brinkley will tell us the keys to winning Game 4 tomorrow afternoon. It's all coming up on Nesson Daily tonight after our Red Sox coverage, only on Nesson. Carl Crawford leading it off here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Crawford struck out in the 2nd inning. One of 2 Ks for Doug Davis. To right field, Reed Johnson moving in and over. Handles out number 1 as we check back in with Heidi.
Well, Don, as we mentioned earlier, the Red Sox sent Jose Iglesias back to AAA and called up Drew Sutton. But Terry Francona said Iglesias really just needs a few more at-bats, thus the move.
This kid needs to play. He even understood that. You know, I thought the experience was really good for him. I thought he did a terrific job of paying attention and kind of following Petey around, things like that. But he needs to play. So, and with Jed about playing every day, you know, I don't think it's as glaring having to have just the backup shortstop.
In other Red Sox news, Josh Beckett talked today about coming out of the game early last night with a stiff neck. He said the muscle spasmed on him and is sore today, but he is fine. He said there was never a thought that he would miss a start or anything like that. In fact, he did his scheduled workout as normal today and said this sort of thing usually just lasts for about 24 hours. Don?
All right, Heidi, thank you very much. Certainly good news. Wondered why he had left the game last night. Found out during the game, and then now finding out that it's not that big a deal, which is good news.
Yeah, that is good news. Now, we were speculating last night, curious about why he had left the game. And, of course, after the game, found out it was a stiff neck.
2-0 pitch to Saltalamacchia. Misses for ball 3, 3-0.
Talk about a contrast in style last night. Justin Verlander. Tonight, Doug Davis.
Ball 4 and a 4-pitch walk. Saltalamacchia down to first base. 3rd walk given up by Davis. It's time now for tonight's AT&T trivia question. Since 2001, who are the only 4 players to appear in both the Red Sox and Cubs opening day lineups? Well, the answer for you in a little while. Saltalamacchia on with 1 out in the 4th inning. And Jacoby Ellsbury batting for the 3rd time against Doug Davis. Ellsbury singled in the infield in the 1st and grounded out in the 2nd. Here he is in the 4th. fouled off, and it's 1-2. Ellsbury, who does have a base hit tonight, had gone back-to-back games without a hit for the first time since April the 6th. On a 1-for-2 night so far for Jacoby Ellsbury, who bats with 1 out and 1 on. Throw over, and sprawling back to the bag is Saltalamacchia.
That move to first base is really borderline. It's really kind of playing with the angle, isn't it? It almost looks like he's coming home with that front foot, but that late movement toward first base.
There is strike 3. Ellsbury does not like the call. He's the third strikeout victim for Davis, and there's 2 down.
Now Davis going to the outside corner with the fastball to pick up the strikeout against Ellsbury. And you can see why Jacoby was not happy. He thought the ball was outside. Kind of a tough pitch to take with 2 strikes.
So 2 down, and Dustin Pedroia, who has walked twice in the game and scored 2 runs. Doug Davis has walked 3 so far, including 1 in this inning, as Saltalamacchia is at first, and these fans are waiting for the laser show to begin. Numbers for Doug Davis through 3 2/3 innings, 6 hits, 4 runs. He's walked 3, struck out 3. Ball 2, 2-1. Gonzalez waits on deck. There are 2 outs here in the 4th. To the left and towards the corner. It's a fair ball. Saltalamacchia will be stopped at third. It's a double for Dustin Pedroia, who's on base for the 3rd time tonight, his first hit.
Looks like a changeup that Pedroia gets this time that stays inside. That was supposed to be down and away, but stays inside, and Pedroia right down that left field line. Rattles around the 310. Soriano gets it back in, and runners at second and third for the Red Sox. Pedroia now 2 for 6 in his career against Davis. He does have a home run against him.
He was safe and secure New York life.
Da, da, da.
Second and third, 2 down. And Adrian Gonzalez coming up. Adrian has 2 singles in the game, both to left, and has driven in a run. Takes ball 1. Action for the first time for the Cubs. Left-hander up, Scott Maine. In again for ball 2. Red Sox have had a base runner in every inning but the 2nd inning, and now have 2nd and 3rd, 2 down. A chance for Gonzalez to do more damage. Takes the 2-0 for strike 1. Again, Davis staying in, but got the corner this time.
Yeah, that time stayed inside with a cut fastball.
Red Sox 2 for 5 with runners in scoring position so far tonight. Close, but it's ball 3. Davis wanted it in a big way.
Ball's outside.
Fouled off to the left, full count. When you're on the road, take some peace of mind with you. AAA roadside assistance can save the day. Your AAA card can help you save every day. Call 1-800-JOIN-AAA or join online at AAA.com. After tonight, will be Fox tomorrow, ESPN Sunday. Then we will be on the road in Cleveland beginning Monday night. Red Sox and Indians, and then it's on to Detroit to take on the Tigers as part of this next road trip. Here's a liner that is into right field for Gonzalez. From third comes Saltalamacchia. Here comes Pedroia, and the Red Sox lead it 6-2. Adrian Gonzalez drives in 2 more.
Hang City with this breaking ball. It's just going to hang up about letter high to Gonzalez. And he just hits the line drive right up over the head of Barney at second base. He had been trying to stay inside with him with fastballs and cut fastballs. Floats up a breaking ball. And Gonzalez makes him pay.
That is the night for Doug Davis. Red Sox lead it 6-2. 6-2, Red Sox on top as the Cubs make a pitching change. Doug Davis done after 3 2/3 innings. Red Sox get to him for 8 hits and so far 6 runs. Kevin Youkilis welcomes Scott Maine to the game as Maine, the left-handers, is called to the bullpen. Is brought to you by New England Ford dealers. From lefty Doug Davis to lefty Scott Maine. Had a no decision against the Marlins. Appearing last night, throwing just 4 pitches, working a third of an inning. It was recalled from AAA Iowa prior to Tuesday night's game. The 1-1 is away, and it's 2-1. Youkilis hit a double in the first inning, then has sac fly in the third. Maine was closing games for the Iowa Cubs. High drive, deep left, ball crushed by Youkilis right out of Fenway Park. 2-run home run. Red Sox lead at 8-2, and an absolute blast for Kevin Youkilis.
Now Uke having a big night. A double sacrifice fly. Now the 2-run bomb. Home run number 8 on the season for Kevin Youkilis. Oh, did he ever crush this one? Fastball, belt high, way out of Fenway Park.
.500th career RBI for Kevin Youkilis, and a 2-run home run. Now Ortiz fouls it off to the left. Hess and Hess Express, the proud sponsors of the Red Sox and the Red Sox on Nesson. During the 2011 Red Sox season, Hess and Hess Express will donate $500 to the Pediatric Trauma Program at Children's Hospital Boston. For every Red Sox home run, Hess and Hess Express committed to helping the cause. Eighth home run of the year for Kevin Youkilis. It's been the 3 RBI night, 30 now in the season. Ortiz fouls it off, 2-2. So the book is now closed on Doug Davis, 3 2/3. be 7 runs, 8 hits, 3 walks, and 3 Ks. Scott Main charged with a home run for Youkilis. Two is outside, ball 3. Jed Lowry will be next, and then Mike Cameron will get that far. There's 2 outs in the inning. Here's a 3-2 pitch as Ortiz sends it foul off to the left, and a nice grab by a fan up in the upper deck to the left. Ortiz, broken bat, soft liner, and 1 hopper. And Oldwood, shortstop, and it's thrown away. Backed up by the catcher Hill right in front of the Red Sox dugout, but Ortiz will reach. The shift was on, and Baker, the third baseman, was on the right side of the infield. It's Starlin Castro, the shortstop, throws it away.
Yeah, Castro really didn't get much into that throw. He was kind of backing up, as you can see right there, making the play, and then just kind of took for granted he was going to throw out Ortiz at first base. There's no catch at first base by Pena, which is very unusual. And Ortiz safe.
Charged with an error.
It's almost like one of those plays, Don, where he could have set himself and made a good, strong, accurate throw to first base to get Ortiz.
Jed Lowry, the 8th member of the Red Sox to bat here in the home half of the 4th inning. It's been a 4-run 4th inning so far, and he bats with David Ortiz at first base. Lowry with a single and an RBI in the 3rd inning, a 1-for-2 night. Rolled foul, 1-1.
I couldn't believe it driving into the ballpark today. I actually saw blue sky and sun.
What is that?
Where did that come from?
First time all homestand.
We have had some miserable nights here at Fenway Park, and you got to give credit to the fans who came out during those nights. A much nicer night tonight.
We are fog free for the first time tonight. Ball 2, 2-1. This guy's been busy over the last week.
Yeah, they deserve a rest, a well-deserved rest.
Talking about the Cubs earlier and their batting average being so good. They're second in the National League, but their pitching not so much. 4.50 earned run average. Only the Astros the higher earned run average. There's a strike and a full count. Three-two pitch. In the air to left. Off the wall for Lowry. Ortiz heads for third. Throw goes to second. Lowry's going to duck back to first, and he'll get there. Put the brakes on about halfway to second base. Collected quickly by Soriano in left, and it's a long single for Jed Lowry. Ortiz gets to third.
Well, the Red Sox have made some good, solid contact in this inning. Another hard hit ball, line drive that's going to find that left field wall. Nicely played by Soriano as he gets it back into second base, and Lowry has to retreat. He was about halfway down to second.
Mark Riggins, the pitching coach. Scott Main taking over for Doug Davis and has not had any success. He's not yet recorded an out. Cameron batting with runners at first and third and 2 down. Cameron grounded out in the first, struck out in the third. There's strike one. Jon Lester has had to wait so far 24 minutes in this bottom of the 4th inning. Red Sox already have 10 hits tonight as they bat here in the 4th inning. Ortiz at third, Lowry at first, 2 down. Two and one. Outside, 3 and 1. Carl Crawford lined out to begin this 4th inning. Cameron, 9th man to bat in the inning, and a foul off to the right, full count. Ortiz at third, Lowry crossed the diamond at first, 2 down. Cameron takes ball 4 and heads down to first base to load the bases. For every Red Sox game that goes into extra innings or the Red Sox get a save, CVS Pharmacy will donate $500 to Children's Hospital Boston. CVS Pharmacy is the official pharmacy of the Boston Red Sox. Carl Crawford lined out to begin this inning. Lined out to right fielder Reed Johnson. He is 0 for 2. He is struck out and lined out. And he takes ball 1. Crawford 1 for 3 in a Red Sox uniform with the bases loaded. It's outside, 2-0.
Right now, Maine having trouble with everything. His fastball, his breaking ball. Patey coming in, trying to calm him down a little bit.
There is action behind him. James Russell is up, a left-hander.
4 lefties in the bullpen for the Cubs.
Crawford with a swing and a foul tip. And it's 2-1. Two and two now. Youkilis with a big blast in the inning, a 2-run home run. On the ground to short. Starlin Castro will go to first, and he gets it there just in time. Kevin Youkilis with a 2-run shot for Youkilis, his 8th home run of the year. It's all part of an 8-2 Red Sox lead. Eastern Bank is teaming up with Adrian and Betsy Gonzalez to help local families by donating $1,000 for every home run Adrian hits this season to select Habitat for Humanity affiliates in Eastern Massachusetts. Jeb Fisher and Jared hanging out here at Fenway Park. Of course, Jeb, Nesson producer and associate producer with us for a couple years here on Red Sox baseball. And Jared plays in the Charlestown Little League. Join the game here tonight at Fenway Park as we head to the 5th. Jeff Baker leads it off after a 30-minute wait for Jon Lester.
Yeah, Jeb told us that in the game the other night. He hit a home run, did Jared, and then came in and pitched and struck out 4 guys in a row.
He's doing it all. This one is fouled off down the right field line, and it's 1-1. Baker has 2 hits. He's got another as he sends it into right field. He is 3 for 3.
And he's had hits on 3 different types of pitches. A changeup, a fastball. This last time the curveball from Jon Lester that he shoots the opposite field for the base hit. Lester leaving that curveball up in the zone, and Baker jumps on it.
Already his 4th 3-hit game of 2011. He's at first for Aramis Ramirez, who's got 2 hits of his own tonight. Single and a double. Lester has not had a 1-2-3 inning all night, and will not here in the 5th. There's a pop-up. Down from first is Gonzalez, and in fair ground makes the catch. One out for Carlos Pena. He's fly to center and grounded to short. He's 0 for 2. '70th pitch of the night for Jon Lester. And it's outside, ball 1. Carlos Pena hit 46 home runs in 2007 for Tampa Bay. 28 last year, and worked out to be his last year in Tampa. 39 the year before. 5 so far in a Cubs uniform. And a swing and a miss. 1-1. And is signing just a 1-year deal here with the Cubs. Inside, ball 2. 235 home runs for Carlos Pena in his career. The best stretch he had in his major league career was in Tampa Bay after being drafted initially by Texas, spending time with the Rangers, Oakland, Detroit, of course, brief stay here in Boston, and then landing in Tampa Bay in '07. Lays off at 2-1, and it's 3-1.
Yeah, that's really where he found himself as a player down with the Tampa Bay Rays. Kind of kicked around with different ball clubs and finally found himself a home and had success.
Inside, and Lester walks him. So there's the second walk given up by Lester. So we check back in with Heidi.
Don, I'm over here at Bashu where Jake, who just showed me how to roll sushi. It was a really cool experience. You can check it out on my video diary at nesson.com/Heidi. But we're here to show you that the sushi is made fresh right here across the street from Fenway at Basho every afternoon. It's packaged into these little containers where they take it over to Fenway Park every day. So we walked just across the street here to Fenway Park where the Basho sushi is delivered fresh 2 to 3 hours before every game. It's available in 6 places around the ballpark, including the EMC Club and on the concourse at all of the deli stands. And it's really good, particularly the Heidi Watney rolled California rolls. Don?
All right, Heidi, thanks very much.
You like sushi, don't you, Don?
I love sushi.
Yeah, you have that quite a bit when we go on the road for lunch.
You don't like sushi, do you?
Not a huge fan, no, but of course that looks like outstanding sushi, and I'm sure I would like that.
I think you'd be all right if you stay with the basic stuff. You just don't want to get into the really mushy raw fish. Probably recommend staying away from that.
Yeah.
Swing and a miss. It's 0-2. Baker singled to begin this inning. Ramirez popped out. Pena walked. All of a sudden, Cubs have 2 on. They've had 2 on in every inning. But trail 8-2 as they bat here in the 5th. Been a bit of a struggle tonight for Lester, but he's able to strike out Bird to pick up his 4th strikeout, 2 down.
Now that's where he's been trying to get that cut fastball all night long, down and in against those right-handers. Perfect cut of that time for Jon Lester.
The Caymen are putting up number 4. The pitching line is brought to you by Ace Ticket. 4 2/3, 8 hits, the 2 runs, 2 walks, and 4 strikeouts, and 77 pitches through 4 2/3 for Lester. Alfonso Soriano. Soriano was a member of the Yankees. He would virtually never walk. Remember how aggressive he used to be. He has 40 strikeouts this season with 6 walks. It's a ground ball to deep short. Lowry, long throw off balance again, off the glove of Gonzalez. A run will score. Baker comes in from third, and it is now second and third as Gonzalez is trying to stretch it out, and it goes off the glove, and a run will score. It's now 8-3.
Well, very long throw by Lowry at shortstop. Gonzalez trying to keep contact with that first base bag while reaching out and trying to make the catch on this. Ball gets by him and a run scores. It's like Gonzalez got a glove on it, but the glove was just not quite big enough.
So it is a base hit for Soriano, but then an error on the throw that allows the runners to move up. Second and third now, 2 down for Reed Johnson. Bounced into a 6-4-3 double play in the second and singled in the 4th. Tap foul. Johnson, 34 years old. Saw a lot of him when he was in Toronto with the Blue Jays, the team that initially drafted him. First got to the big leagues in 03, was with the Blue Jays for 4 seasons, and now in his 3rd year with the Cubs. The stop in L.A. in between. Fights it off foul, and it's 0-2. Member of the Dodgers last year in 102 games hit .262. And back with the Cubs where he was in 08 and 09. Coy Hill, number 9 man, waiting on deck. 2 down here in the 5th. In the air to left field, struck well. Crawford going back onto the track. It's going to be off the scoreboard. Pena will score. Soriano will score. It's a 2-run double for Reed Johnson. And back come the Cubs. It's now 8-5.
Now this has been a real battle tonight for Jon Lester. He tries the curveball again right here. It stays down a little bit. But a nice piece of hitting right there by Reed Johnson right off the top of the scoreboard to drive in a couple of runs. So back in the ball game on the Chicago Cubs. This has not been an atypical Jon Lester performance tonight.
So 2 down, 3 runs in here for the Cubs, and Coy Hill coming up with Reed Johnson at second base with his 6th double of the year. Coy Hill has popped out and walked.
Already 20 hits in this ball game, 10 for each side.
There's strike 1. On the ground left side, Youkilis to his left. The throw sidearmed and in time to end the inning. But the Cubs come up with 3 runs halfway through this one. It's 8-5 Red Sox. Last half of the 5th inning back at Fenway Park. Lots of offense tonight for both sides. Jon Lester giving up 5 runs through the first 5 innings. 8-5 Red Sox lead, both teams with 10 hits. And it's Jared Saltalamacchia who leads it off in the home half of the 5th. Scott Maine returning to the mound. Faced 5 batters and got the final out of the 4th inning. Gave up a run of his own. As Saltalamacchia takes ball 1. Jared tonight has popped out to second base, walked and scored. Up and away, and it's 2-1. Two and 2.
Yeah, both strikes in this at bat to Saltalamacchia have been on the changeups. We didn't see any last inning from Maine. We're seeing him here in the 5th inning.
High drive, deep left field for Jared Saltalamacchia towards the monster seats and gone. Second home run for Jared Saltalamacchia. Second home run given up by Scott Maine. And the Red Sox on top 9-5.
Well, after a couple of pretty good change-ups away from Saltalamacchia, he tries to throw the fastball by him inside. And Saltalamacchia picks up his second home run. Above the belt, underneath the letters, and off the Volvo side.
Laces this towards the gap in right center field. It'll get down to the track in the wall. Ellsbury will pull it up at second base with a double. And right now the Red Sox taking some pretty good swings at Scott Maine.
Now Jacoby picks up his second hit of the night. Had a hit against Davis back in the first inning. And now runs one out to the Red Sox bullpen as James Russell loosens in the bullpen. First pitch fastball, Ellsbury. He's thinking about three, but held up at second base with nobody out.
There is Dustin Pedroia, who's been on base 3 times tonight. He's walked twice and doubled and has scored 3 runs. Every time the Cubs inch closer, the Red Sox go back to work. And back on top now 9-5. A 1-0. 2-0. Doug Davis started this game for the Cubs. 3 2/3 innings, 8 hits. 7 runs. He walked 3, struck out 3, and now Scott Maine having trouble again in the 5th after having trouble in the 4th. 2-0. That is lined into left field. Ellsbury will stop at third. Soriano guns it home. And it's first and third, nobody out. 4th time Pedroia has been on his second hit.
And that's going to be the night for Maine.
Scott Maine will depart as the Red Sox have a 9-5 lead. It's time now for the answer to tonight's AT&T trivia question. Since 2001, who are the only 4 players to appear in both the Red Sox and Cubs opening day lineups? The answer: Mark Bellhorn, Nomar Garciaparra, Bill Miller, and Todd Walker. Bellhorn 2004-2005 with the Red Sox. 03 at third base for the Cubs. Nomar, of course, in 2005 for the Cubs at shortstop after being traded in 04. Bill Miller was there in 2001 before coming to the Red Sox in 04 and 05. And Todd Walker going in 2003 from the Red Sox to the Cubs, where he would start 05 and 06 as a member of the Chicago Cubs. First and third, nobody out. Adrian Gonzalez, the batter. First pitch from James Russell is in there for strike 1. New pitcher makes his 13th appearance, 1-4 with a 7.20 ERA. Now it's hitting at .322 against James Russell. Sliced foul, 0-2. Russell, a 25-year-old, 14th round pick by the Cubs in 2007. This marks his 5th year in the organization. On the ground towards shortstop. Castro to second for 1. On to first for 2 as the run scores. In from third is Ellsbury, and the Red Sox have a 10-5 lead.
Well, Russell getting ahead of Adrian Gonzalez and getting that double play ball. With the double play, a run comes in for the Red Sox. Cubs there, excuse me, Don, willing to get 2 outs and give up another run.
Kevin Youkilis has had a good night. A double back in the first inning to drive in, or actually just a double, and then he got a sac fly in the third, then hit a 2-run home run in the fourth. It's been a 3 RBI night as he takes strike 1. Adrian Gonzalez also with 3 RBIs in the game. Youkilis fights it off foul, 1-2. David Ortiz waiting on deck. 2 outs here in the 5th. The runs that have scored are charged to Scott Maine. Goes a third of an inning and gives up 3 runs. Fly ball down the right field line. Long run for Reed Johnson, and can't make the catch, and it's a fair ball. Quick throw to second, and Youkilis will get there safely. Johnson tried the basket catch, couldn't catch it, and lands fair. And Youkilis scampers his way to second base.
Now, Reed Johnson had a long way to go to try to make this play, and he takes a peek, see how far he's got till he gets to the wall, tries to make the basket catch. Can't come up with it, and the hustling Youkilis gets into second base with the double. Nice play there by the second baseman to get the throw off, but Youkilis beating it.
They charge Reed Johnson with an error. David Ortiz grounds one towards short. Castro's got it. The throw to first is in time in the inning. He's over. Red Sox get 2 more. We played 5. It's 10-5 Boston. This week's all-new Ultimate Red Sox show with Heidi Watney, presented by Arbella Insurance, features Peter Gammons with Jose Iglesias, the Tigers' Justin Verlander, strange Sox wins from the 1986 season, and much more. Catch the Ultimate Red Sox show this Sunday at noon. It is a 10-5 Red Sox lead as we head to the top of the 6th inning. Top of the order is Starlin Castro to lead it off here for the Cubs. Castro 0 for 3. He's grounded out twice and struck out. Fouls it off to the right, and it's 2-1. They have changed the scoring. Youkilis has got a double on that ball down the right field line. And Reed Johnson got a glove on, so Youkilis has got his 3rd hit of the night, 3rd extra base hit at that.
I kind of agree with that change in the call. I really thought that was a double. It was by no means a routine play for Reed Johnson. Look how far he's got to go. He takes a peek to see where the stands is. He's got the ball girl there. Everything going on. Tries to make the basket catch. I really believe that was a double for Kevin Youkilis.
Swing and a miss. Strike 3. 5th strikeout for Lester. And there's one down here in the 6th inning. Second time he's got Castro.
Yeah, and both times, Don, he's got him on that same cut fastball down and in. He's got Castro swinging above the baseball.
Darwin Barney 1 for 3. He doubled back in the 3rd inning and scored the Cubs' first run. Foul ball evens the count at 1-1. Barney, a 4th-round pick by the Cubs in 07. Attended Oregon State University and helped the Beavers clinch their 2nd straight College World Series title in 07. Outside, ball 2. Fouled off, and it's 2-2.
Happens so many times. The hitters, right-handed hitters, they get that cut fastball inside. They swing on top of it. If they make contact, a lot of time that contact in baseball hits them. Ooh, right off the left knee, it looked like.
Line to third. Youkilis makes the catch out number 2.
Ball hit very well by Barney. Line shot, sinking line drive, but Kevin Youkilis up off his feet. And then not even time for a crossover step, just down to his knees.
There's strike 1 to Jeff Baker. Lester has not yet found a way to get Baker out tonight. Baker with 3 hits, all singles, and he has scored 2 runs. And he spread it out all over the place. 1 to left, 1 to center, 1 to right. This is back up the middle, and he is 4 for 4. Comes in hitting at .342 into tonight's action, and 4 hits in 4 tries. Dunkin' Donuts is in its 13th year of hosting local youth groups and charitable organizations in the Dunkin' Dugout, a special seating section at Fenway Park. Thousands of children have had the chance to catch a Red Sox home game thanks to Dunkin' Donuts. 2 down in the top half of the 6th inning. Jeff Baker at first base, his second 4-hit game of the season. First one was back on April 8th against Milwaukee. And as Lester deals with strike 1, there is action behind him. Scott Atchison starting to warm up. Lester nearing 100 pitches at 97. Off 1-2. Carlos Pena waiting on deck. Lester got 2 quick outs and Castro to strike out, Barney to line out. But a single by Jeff Baker has prolonged this inning. Here is pitch number 100 for Lester. And it's inside, 2-2. Ball 3 away, full count.
Lester not happy with himself at all. It's been a very difficult 101 pitches tonight for Jon Lester.
In the air, foul. He's out ahead. in the air to left field, and this will quickly get to the wall. Crawford plays the hop. Baker stops at third. It's going to be a long single for Aramis Ramirez.
Well, the 3 and 4 hitters in the lineup for the Cubs really doing some damage. 4 hits for Baker, 3 now for Ramirez. And Kurt Young bounces out of the Red Sox dugout.
Beth Israel Deaconess Medical Center, the official hospital of the Boston Red Sox, is asking, what do you know about keeping bones and joints strong? Step up to the plate and take their 9-inning quiz at bidmc.org/healthyis. Two down here in the top half of the 6th inning. 1st and 3rd now for the Cubs. They have had 2 runners on at the very least in every inning in this game. And they now trail 10-5 as Carlos Pena steps up here. He was flied out to center, grounded out to short, and walked. Ground ball right side with a shift on. It's Pedroia to first for the out. That will end the inning. 2 more left for the Cubs. 5.5 done. 10-5 Red Sox. Immediately following the game tonight, stay with us for WB Mason's Extra Innings Live with TC, Eck, Peter, and Heidi. Don't miss the breakdown of Jon Lester's outing tonight. Plus, you'll hear from both the starter and the manager in our From the Press Room segment. It's all coming up right after the game on WB Mason's Extra Innings Live. Starlin Castro will send this one back off Atchison. Trying to run it down. He does and throws it to first, and it's just in time. Nice play by Atchison. First to stay with it and then run it down to get the out.
What a terrific play by Scott Atchison and Gonzalez at first base. Atchison first knocking it down, chasing it down, the sidearm throw to first, and the pick out of the dirt by Adrian Gonzalez. This has by no means been an ordinary game tonight.
No. 1 out in the 8th, and Darwin Barney is coming up. Barney had a double back in the 3rd inning, a 1-for-4 night. There for a strike, 1-1. Red Sox have double-barreled action in the pen. Rich Hill on the left, Matt Albers on the right. Broken bat grounder right side. Pedroia at second base. 2 down. Follow the Red Sox with MLB.com @bat 11 for your iPhone, iPad, Android, or BlackBerry. Get live audio pitch-by-pitch tracking, video highlights, and more. Text @bat to 31826 or visit RedSox.com for details. 2 down in the 8th, and Jeff Baker is the batter. Baker's had a big game tonight. 4 hits in 4 tries. He sends one foul off to the right. Action in the pen. Jeff Samardzija is up in the pen. Swing and a miss, and it's 0-2. Nice job so far tonight by Scott Atchison, who has retired 5 batters in a row after hitting Marlon Byrd, the first batter that he faced coming in the 7th inning. One-two pitch to Jeff Baker. It's fouled off to the right. We had some ceremonial first pitch here tonight. Let me tell you something. This guy with the moss, he's got nothing now. He was throwing salad as a couple of guys with Chicago ties, of course, and Red Sox ties both. Look at this. This is very hittable. Wow. Guy's got some salad. There's no hair on that. And no cheese left in ex-Arsenal, apparently.
Busak playing with the Red Sox and Cubs, and Pudge playing with the Red Sox and the White Sox. And both in the Hall of Fame.
A 1-2 pitch to Baker. He is in the air to right, and Cameron is back there. He'll make the catch. It ends the inning. We head for the last of the eighth. It's 10-5. Red Sox on top. Back at Fenway with the game summary is brought to you by Xfinity. Red Sox scoring 2 in the first inning, and it was Adrian Gonzalez who knocks in a run as part of the first inning, give the Red Sox a 2-0 advantage at the time. They would power up as well. Kevin Youkilis hitting a 2-run shot in the fourth inning, his 8th home run of the year. And then in the 5th, to lead it off, Jared Saltalamacchia gets his 2nd of the year. Was off Scott Maine. All part of a 10-5 Red Sox lead as Jon Lester gives up 5 runs in his 6 innings of work. And we move on to the last of the 8th. And Jeff Samardzija is into the game here now for the Cubs. His 18th appearance, 3-0 with a 2.96 ERA. Opponent's hitting at just 163 and 24 to 30. He's got 27 Ks, but he's walked 22 and falls behind Youkilis 2-0. Youkilis with a 3-hit night so far, and ahead 3-0. There's a strike, 3-1. Samardzija going multiple innings, generally 2 or more innings, and 7 of his last 12 outings. There's strike 2, full count. Hopper to shortstop. Starlin Castro's got it. The throw is off the mark, but the tag is not going to get there. Pena did his best to try to get Youkilis on the way by, missed, and then Youkilis gets back. Going to be another error to Starlin Castro.
Castro again sailing that ball up the first base line. Pena comes off the bag and tries to tag Kevin Youkilis, but Youkilis avoids the tag, then dives back to the first base bag. He never tagged the bag on the way by. It becomes a race between he and Pena, and Youkilis will win it by touching first base first.
Now Ortiz fouls it back. Well, one of the moves the Red Sox making in the last 24 hours, the addition of Franklin Morales, former Rocky, who is warming in the pen. A 1 pitch to David Ortiz is fouled back, 95, and it's 0-2. David with a double back in the 3rd inning, the 1-for-4 night. Two from Samardzija. is on the ground, foul outside of first. It's time now for the Coors Light Freeze Cam. Kevin Youkilis with a 2-run home run back in the 4th inning. Coors Light Freeze Cam brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer. The ball right out of Fenway Park. And for Kevin Youkilis' 8th home run of the year, time gave the Red Sox an 8-2 lead. But it is 10-5 now as Ortiz takes ball 2. Jed Lowry waiting on deck. Red Sox batting in the last of the 8th. Ortiz jolts this towards the gap in left center field, and it'll hit on a hop to the wall. Youkilis to third, to second goes Ortiz with a double. His second double of the night.
And the second time that Big Papi has gone to the opposite field for the 2-base hit. That inside-out stroke this time on a ball that's down and out over the plate by Ortiz using left field. So that quickly, with nobody out, the Red Sox have a couple of men in scoring position.
Red Sox now 16 hits in the game. It ties the season high. They had 16 hits on May 10th against Toronto, and they've got 16 tonight. Second and third, nobody out, and Jed Lowry the batter. Lowry 2 hits tonight, both singles back in the 3rd and 4th innings, and both to left. He's got an RBI tonight, and now 19 RBIs on the season. Samardzija coming in here to begin the 8th. The error by Castro starts the inning, and a double by Ortiz, and all of a sudden it's second and third. Cubs bringing that infield in. What a tough night for Starlin Castro. This one driven foul. I want to remind you, coming up after the game tonight, it's Granite City Electric Red Sox final with TC, Peter, and Heidi. We'll check in on the interleague highlights, including the Subway Series and the Citrus Series, plus a preview of Alfredo Aceves' start tomorrow, and a look ahead to the throwback uniforms the teams will be wearing tomorrow night. It's all coming up after the game, only on NESN. Here is an 0-2 pitch to Jed Lowry. He gets jammed, pops it up. Foul ground is Jeff Baker over towards his own dugout, and makes the catch for the first out of the 8th. So one down, second and third, and Mike Cameron coming up. Cameron has grounded out, struck out, walked, and flied out to right. Two and 0. Rips it foul, and it's 2-1 now for Mike Cameron. Inside 3-1. There's ball 4, and Cameron heads down to first base. Second time he has walked tonight.
The Amica Pitch Zone is brought to you by Amica Insurance. Amica Insurance, it's not just how you covered, it's how you treated. And we'll take a look at 3 strikeouts tonight from Jon Lester. Cut fastball down and in. On Castro, another cut fastball for the strikeout. And once again, the cutter doing the honors for Jon Lester.
Bases loaded, 1 out in the bottom of the 8th. Red Sox trying to add on to their 10-5 lead. There's Carl Crawford, who does not have a hit tonight, as he takes ball 1. Crawford is struck out, lined out, and grounded out twice. And as Coy Hill, the catcher, out to talk to Jeff Samardzija. The strike, and it's 1-1. Mets have held on to beat the Yankees tonight 2-1. While the Marlins defeat Tampa Bay 5-3. 2 teams atop the American League East. Head of the Red Sox, both losing tonight. There's a base hit to right. From third comes Youkilis. David Ortiz going to try and score. Bobbling right by Johnson. 2 runs in, and the Red Sox lead it 12-5.
Well, Kyle Crawford finding that hole between first and second, just getting it by Pena at first base. And picking up a couple of RBIs. Looks like a cut fastball or a slider that time. Reaching out to the outside part of the plate and hooking the ball. Getting it past Pena. I don't think there'll be an error given there, because I think quite sure both runs would have scored.
So first and third, 1 out in the inning. And Jared Saltalamacchia, the batter. There is ball 1. Saltalamacchia's had a good night. He's been on 3 times. A walk, a home run, and a single. Also popped out. Swing and a miss, 1-1. Top of the Red Sox order, Jacoby Ellsbury waiting on deck. Ground ball foul, and they scramble over by the Red Sox dugout. It makes its way in.
Pretty quick moves, it looks like, from Marco Scutaro. To get out of the way of that ground ball. Scutaro on the disabled list for the Red Sox.
Down and in, gets away from Hill, but not chancing it is Cameron. This whole inning gets started in the error by Starlin Castro. Red Sox have tacked on 2 more runs so far here in the 8th. Mike Cameron at third, Carl Crawford at first, and 1 down. Comes a 2-2 pitch to Jared Saltalamacchia. Ball 3. right field line foul. Ball 4 and Saltalamacchia down to first base. Second walk of the inning given up by Jeff Samardzija, and the bases are loaded. Tough to watch for Mike Quade tonight. Pitching has given up 12 runs on 17 hits and 2 more walks, 2 more runs here in the 8th. Riggins, the pitching coach, out to talk to Samardzija here with the bases loaded, 1 out, and Jacoby Ellsbury coming up. Ellsbury's had a 2-hit night, single back in the first inning, double in the 5th. And is 2 for 5 as he bats for the 6th time. Swing and a miss for strike 1. Samardzija this time starts off ahead. Cameron at third base, Crawford at second base, and Saltalamacchia at first base. 2 runs already in. One and one. Outside, ball 2. Well, tomorrow in game 2 of the series, Alfredo Aceves going up against Carlos Zambrano. Zambrano 4-2 in the 4.89 earned run average. Game is on Fox. Night game tomorrow, and then Sunday night, Tim Wakefield and Matt Garza. This one fouled off, and it's 2-2. So with Lackey and Matsuzaka on the DL. We'll see Aceves and Wakefield go Saturday and Sunday in this series. Wakefield 0-1 so far in the season. Supposed to start here against the Orioles the other night, his 3rd spot start of the year, but rains came and of course rained out that game.
Ended up going down to the bullpen for a game, was not used, and had a side session and to get ready for a start this weekend.
2-2 is hit in the air a long way towards left center field. Back is Bird, and that's going to be off the scoreboard. Cameron from third will score. Here comes Crawford. Throw to the plate, and Crawford will be safe. 2 more runs in. Red Sox lead at 14-5.
Well, just about everybody in the lineup tonight has taken part offensively for the Red Sox, and a lot of these left-handers tonight have used that opposite field. The latest, Jacoby Ellsbury. Ellsbury gets a slider, it looks like, and he goes inside out off that left field scoreboard.
Well, the Red Sox, more runs they've had in any other game this year and more hits than any other game this year. 14 runs and now 18 hits. Dustin Pedroia, the 8th member of the Red Sox, to bat here in the bottom of the 8th inning. First and second with 1 out. And a foul off to the right. Pedroia is down 0-2. Number foul, and Hill jumped out to grab it, but foul ball 0-2. Now, don't forget, coming up immediately after the game, stay with us for WB Mason Extra Innings Live. It's all the post-game coverage you'll need right here on NESN. Well, the Yankees losing tonight to the Mets 2-1. The Rays losing to the Marlins 5-3. As Pedroia strikes out for the second out of the 8th. First strikeout for Samardzija, and here he is, Adrian Gonzalez. 3-hit night, 3 runs batted in. Center field, and that's in for a base hit. From second base comes Saltalamacchia. The throw is cut off, and the throw to third is not going to be in time. Another run in. Red Sox lead it 15-5. It is a 4-hit night for Adrian Gonzalez.
4 hits and 4 RBI on the night for Gonzalez. RBIs in his first at bat, his third at bat, and now here in his 6th at bat. Line drive right up the middle. So started the game with 37 runs batted in, now has 41.
Red Sox have batted around twice tonight. They did it back in the 4th inning. They do it here in the 8th and lead it 15-5. It's been a 5-run bottom of the 8th inning so far, as Kevin Youkilis reached on an error to get it all started. Here's a 1-0. It's in there for a strike, 1-1. 3 hits, 3 RBIs in the game for Youkilis, including a 2-run home run. Fouls it off, 1-2. John Graybo warming in the pen. All 3, full count. Samardzija has already walked 2 in the inning. Fly ball to center field. Marlon Byrd is back there. And he'll make the catch that ends the inning. But in the inning, the Red Sox score 5 times, take a 15-5 lead. We head to the top half of the 9th inning, now 15-5. Red Sox on top of the Chicago Cubs. Darnell McDonald takes over in left field for Carl Crawford. Drew Sutton just joined the team today. He's at second base as Crawford and Pedroia come out of the game. Tony Campagna is going to take strike one. He pinch hits here to begin things in the ninth. Pinch hitting for Aramis Ramirez. Ramirez had a 3-hit night. He was 3 for 4. There is strike 3. Atchison has done very well and retired the last 7 Cubs in a row.
Yeah, he came in, he hit the first batter he faced, and since that time he's got 3 strikeouts and nobody's reached base on him. Cut fastball inside corner that time for the strikeout.
3 strikeout since coming into the game for Atchison. 1 out in the ninth for Carlos Pena. This is back up the middle. Youkilis ranging back of the bag. Off balance throw. Nicely done. Looking like a shortstop out there. 2 down.
A few style points there for Kevin Youkilis as he ranges to his left. 2 big bounces out to Youkilis, and now the off balance throw to first base to get the out.
Two down, other pinch hitter. Looks like Blake DeWitt is going to pitch hit here with 2 down. Pinch hits for Marlon Byrd. And fouls it straight back. Well, a reminder to stay with us for Granite City Electric Red Sox final. Complete post-game coverage coming up after the game from our Nesson studios. To left field, McDonald coming in, and that'll do it. The Red Sox and Cubs meeting at Fenway Park for the first time since 1918. And the Red Sox take it to the Cubs in game 1, winning 15-5. We'll come back with more from Fenway Park right after this. Bob's Discount Furniture will be stepping up to the plate again for the Jimmy Fund this season. Bob's Discount Furniture will donate $1,000 to the Jimmy Fund Radio Telethon for every Red Sox game saved. So far this season, Bob's Discount Furniture has donated a total of $9,000 to the Jimmy Fund Radio Telethon. Atchison going 3 innings to get that save as the Red Sox win it 15-5 from Fenway. For Jerry Remy and Heidi Watney, I'm Don Orsillo saying goodnight from Fenway Park. We're with you next Monday night in Cleveland as the Sox open up a 3-game series with the Indians. Our live coverage from Progressive Field begins at 6. This has been a presentation of Nesson, New England's most watched sports network. The preview, what's coming up on W. Mason's Extra Innings. Here's Tom Caron.